What's up? Devil's Details diecast here with another 3 blind mice build for the month of April. This is the 72 Ford Ranchero. Brand new out of the package. I didn't have one of these in stock, so grabbed one on eBay. Like the look of it as it is now, so it's going to be tough to get this one stripped and down to bare metal. Not sure where I'm going to go with it, but that's always the fun of these builds. Stick around and see what we come up with. Alright, so we have the Ranchero out of the stripper here. Did a little bit of polishing here, didn't spend too much time on it because I will be cutting off the back of this casting and cutting off the front of this casting, or the back, and making this into a kind of a rat rod delivery truck. A friend of mine on Facebook had posted this picture. And while I'm not a Budweiser fan per se, I thought it fit perfectly, and I was looking to make a dirtier version of a 3 blind mice build instead of something fancy and glossy and all souped up. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to cut the Ranchero here, cut the ambulance at the cab, fill in this window, fill in this door, and keep the back, so it kind of looks like delivery truck. And do some custom decals and some wheels and stuff like that. Obviously a paint job on the Ranchero. At least that's the plan. We'll see how it comes about after I saw these two in half and get a better idea of the fit. So I'm going to cut the ambulance first because that's the one that I can sacrifice if I screw it up. And then we'll cut the Ranchero. So stay tuned. Alright, so don't mind the alignment here. Kind of just mocking this up together. Once I get it all leveled out and stuff, I'll probably grab some JB Weld and weld it all together. I was going to use Milliput, but I think JB Weld is going to work a lot better with the die cast. What I ended up doing was making kind of a insert, if you will. So this is the standard front end of the Ranchero. And I cut off the back chassis for the wheels, obviously. And I did the same on the ambulance. It's basically made a shell there. And then we'll put the trailer piece, if you will, on the inside, and get that all mounted together, obviously, to make it sit evenly. So we'll bring this cab up. I really gotta find my tripod. Bring the front end up. You gotta use your imagination at the moment, but I think we're on the right track here. Again, I'm gonna fill in the window. I tried to sand off most of the details. I'm just gonna go over that with glazing putty anyway. And I'll probably throw this in the stripper too, just to start at bare metal. So that's where we're at right now. I think we're going along well here, and I am kind of excited to get this all put together and get a JB welded so we can at least have one car to go forward with. So stick around for that, and we'll catch up on the next update. Alright folks, so we have the back of the El Ranchero out of the stripper, cleaned up a little bit. Again, I didn't really go crazy on sanding because this is going to be kind of a beat up weathered build, but I needed to fill in these windows here and here, and I was going to cut up some styrene and fill the gaps and yada yada. Then I remembered, I said, why don't I just use the glass that came with it? So I stuck it back in. I cut off the front, obviously, glued this in here nice and tight, and now this is going to give me a great base to cover up these windows and this door window. I'm also going to smooth over the doors once I get the main parts done. Again, this is going to be open in the back with the little barn doors. While it's not quite a delivery style, it'll do just fine. And the front, I was going to get some JB Weld today at Walmart, but due to the masses being asses, the parking lot was jam-packed full, and I decided that I wasn't even going to bother. So I'm going to try to get the front Milliput as well. We'll see how much that holds. Hopefully it's been pretty strong. It can get fragile, but once it dries, it's pretty solid. So my biggest problem is getting it really smooth. But I'm going to take some extra time on this one and, really work with sanding and getting it done. It's not that big of a space that I need to fill. I will put a piece of styrene in here as a backer and then just fill over that. So I think it's coming along pretty cool, and stick around for the results. Alright, so I got the sides all milliputted up. For those who don't know what milliput is, I'm pretty sure most of you do, but it's just basically a two-part sculpting compound, I guess you could say. So basically you take the two colors, it's kind of like JB Weld, you take the two colors, add a little bit of water, you kind of get this little paste here. Dries pretty quick, especially if you're not using a lot of it, but I usually let it go overnight. That way there I can get a good sand on it. And then once I get those windows where I want them, I will go over the whole side with the Bondo glazing and spot putty. And what that'll do is mostly fill in all of the box outlines, because this is, a box truck for delivery. It doesn't have all these little side pockets in it. Glued a piece of styrene there, as you can see by my fingerprints. And then I just traced out the front of the Ranchero. Give me an idea of what I need to cut out. Just waiting for that glue to set nicely so I can take a Dremel and a file to it and then I can go ahead and get this front inserted into the back and then do like a bead of milliput around it. So there she is so far. Liking how it's coming out here. And stick around for more. Okay, so here we are the next day after with the box truck, or ambulance turned box truck. Got all the milliput sanded down, pretty much as flat as I can. And now next I'm going to try to fill in all those box lines again with the glazing and spot putty. That I usually let sit for a day as well. I don't think you have to go that far, but I like to make sure it's good and set before I start sanding on it. So hopefully you'll be able to eliminate all the little doors and stuff on the sides with the glazing putty. Alright, here's the update on the back of this Budweiser truck. Added some more of the gap and crack filler, whatever it's called. The crack filler, glazing and spot putty from Bondo. Added that over a couple of layers of primer. Did a couple of layers of primer just to kind of fill in the lines, a little bit of overcoat, and then I added some of the glazing and spot putty over that. Still have this little door down here, but I'm going to shoot it again with some primer and see where that leaves us. This thing is silky smooth to the touch, and I'm hoping that the primer will cover all that. So we're going to go ahead and spray that, and we'll give you an update on it. And if you remember, this is what we started with. The 72 Ford Ranchero from Hot Wheels. And this beautiful black and red color scheme. Decent tires, although they're plastic. Brand new because it was right out of the package. And here's what we came up with. A dirty old Ranchero fused with a old Budweiser delivery truck, aka ambulance. A lot of steps went to making this, as you saw through the video. Hope I showed enough of it. If you guys have any questions on milliput or the Bondo, whatever it's called, glazing and spot putty, be happy to answer them. I am by far no kind of expert on the matter. Heavily weathered, as you can tell. This is kind of more like something you'd see in a junkyard. Some guy back in the day decided to weld his front end of his Ranchero to a Budweiser truck. Thanks to Brandon June for posting the original picture that I showed, which gave me the inspiration for this build. And we'll see you the next month. Take care.